What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I'm Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up in the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And at any point during the show, you know what you can do. You can call in. 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we could talk about whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your heart. You can get it out, and we can get into it. So you can't call in, but if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description of YouTube, or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Hit the super chat button there. Send your question or comments, and I'll read them live on air and as they come in. You know what I'm saying? Right on. Happy Monday. Did you guys enjoy your weekend? Christmas is coming up. Lord have mercy. It's a good thing, but it's just crazy how fast this stuff is coming up. We're almost at 2025. We're almost into the new year. That's crazy. Time flying, and I ain't mad about it. Oh, believe me, I am not mad about it. Amazing stuff. So many things going on in the world, of course, as you guys know. And it makes for good conversation on the podcast. First things first, as you guys see, or maybe have heard, Daniel Penny was found not guilty for the death of Jordan Neely. That was a situation that was politicized over race and all this kind of stuff, as expected. As, you know, as routine. There wasn't a racial story in the news, so, you know, as routine as it goes. But we get into this a little bit more on Punchy, so I'll save the story. I mean, most people are familiar with the story of Daniel Penny, Jordan Neely, but we get into it a little bit more on Punchy, so you guys can tune in at 2 p.m. Pacific time today, a couple hours after my show, and myself and my two other co-hosts of Punchy got into it as well. So you will see that at 2 p.m. But Daniel Penny was found not guilty, which is good, right? From my opinion. Because I don't think it has anything to have to do with the racial thing, but we'll get into it more. We'll talk about it, but that's not what I want to get into with you guys today. No, it's not. Just a little stuff that's in the news. But another thing that I want to show you guys, and then we're going to get into the steak and potatoes. Oh, we getting into the steak and potato, and the steak is medium well. No, it's not. It's medium well, exactly. Oh, the steak is medium well. Some people be liking their steak not even cooked. I be like, what the? You a pit bull? It's got to be medium well for me. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing some people's steak, it be all red. I'm like, what's going on? Medium rare. Mine got to be, I like it a little crispy, and it got to look like it's cooked. But that's how I'm going to give you guys medium well steak and potatoes today. We're getting into some stuff. But before we get into that, I want to just give you guys another little story that's in the news. We'll just speed through it. Nothing crazy, but interesting. This is from Valuetainment on Instagram. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown. Oh, shoot. I have a picture of Jaylen Brown. Let me pull that up so you guys know who I'm talking about. Forgot to drag it in. Jaylen Brown is a basketball player. I have it right here. Watch. I'm going to show you guys. And he's in the news. What is he in the news for? I'm going to show you right now. Boom. Jaylen Brown, forward for the Boston Celtics, has been fined $25,000 by the NBA for making a throat-slashing gesture towards Isaiah Stewart after a dunk during a game against the Detroit Pistons. The incident occurred with just 12 seconds left in the first quarter of the Celtics' 130-120 victory on December 4th, where Brown scored 28 points and contributed significantly to the win. Amazing stuff. And I thought this was very interesting. Shout out Lin Yin Chin with the super chat. I will get to that super chat in a second here, Lin Yin Chin. I appreciate it. It's kind of long, so I'm going to save it. But I thought this was interesting to me. Reason why is because he got fined $25,000 for making a gesture. And I want to show you guys what that gesture was exactly, so you guys don't think that, so you guys can see exactly what it is. You know what I mean? And then we'll get into, I'll tell you guys my opinion about this whole thing. This is from, let me see here, Chaz NBA on YouTube. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown fined for the throat slash gesture during a game. Here we go.
One of the best college players when he was at Houston, won the Jerry West Award as the top shooting guard in the country. 6-second split, game clock and shot clock. Holland's got to be careful not pick up his third, and Brown just put beef stew in the rim. The grave digger comes out early tonight.
In the first quarter.
I thought Jaylen Brown just
Duncan.
had too many opportunities to attack the rack, and that one the most emphatic. Not happy about that, though. Come on.
And then you hear the announcer saying, I'm not happy about that, as if what he did was so bad. You know what I mean? As if what he did was so bad. He just did a little gesture to, he didn't mean he was actually gonna kill him. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't mean he was actually gonna kill him, but that's how we treat all things now. You can't do nothing. He can't even be competitive and talk mess. This is what competition is all about. This is why we love competition, right? This is why all people enjoy competition, because you get to do a little trash talking. Obviously, some people take it too far and people want to fight. That's why I stopped playing basketball sometimes at the parks. Because they like, I'm not a basketball player, but you miss a shot, they want to fight you. I'm like, listen, what? I'm not trying to fight. I'm trying to play a game. But anyway, competition is fun. We enjoy competition. It's fun when you get to talk mess in the right way, right? And you just can go back and forth, right? You make little gestures, like you flex. You know what I mean? You make a little gesture. You throw the gun. Pew, pew. That's what you do. Because it's fun. And then but now you can't do that no more because it's offensive. And you look like you might, whatever reason they have. It's crazy. They fine them $25,000. But the point I want to make is that these NBA players, or even these major sports, these guys make a lot of money, right? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna explain to you right now. This is also from Valuetainment, how much money these guys kind of make, and it kind of is gonna make my point. NBA executive vice president Joe Dumars confirmed the fine, labeling the gesture as inappropriate. Brown anticipated the fine, stating after the game that he expected to hear from the league regarding his actions. So what are they going to do? They're going to sit him down in a room and tell him, hey, that was a bad boy. And what are you going to tell? How are you going to criticize that? Despite the hefty penalty, the fine is not expected to impact Brown significantly, given his recent 5-year contract of $304 million with the Boston Celtics. So over 5 years, he'll make $304 million as contract. Listen, It's not even about the fact that they make all this kind of money. It's that like they have all this type of money, but they don't have no freedom. They have no like they can't do nothing. Their contract has so many things that prevent them. Look, they can't even make a gesture no more. They can't even. Like, you can have all that money and have all that fame, but they're controlled by the establishment, NBA. And if the NBA says you can't do it, oh, you ain't gonna do it. You can't behave a certain way on your personal life. You have to talk a certain way. Everyone has to follow suit. Which on one hand, it's not so bad because it keeps everybody in check, right? So their personalities don't go out of control in their personal life because we don't need that mess, even though sometimes it still does. Which, but the joke goes too far because now you can't even live. You can't even be free and do things, and you have to constantly be in your head thinking about, oh, could I do that? Or is that going to be fine? Or, oh, is this? And that's not a way to live. So don't think just because these people got money that they got it all. No, sometimes they're a slave to what they do. They're being controlled by the establishment, especially something as big as the NBA. So I thought that was just a crazy thing, though. Like, he did this throw slashing thing. And then we had another one, Ball. His last name is Ball. I forgot his first name. He said no homo on a thing. And they fined him like $75,000 or something like that. Because he said no homo. Because it was offensive to the gays. It's wild stuff. That's wild stuff. But people deal with it and we accept it and we allow it because the money is good. But it's just wild stuff. It's getting crazy. And then the announcer, Lord have mercy, talk about, I don't know about that. He didn't even do nothing. Crazy stuff. I just thought that was interesting. LaMelo Ball. Thank you, chat. LaMelo Ball. You got to be careful with, I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the point of the show. D. Thomas says, Joel, you lack awareness. But what do you mean? Where am I lacking awareness? You could be right, but you got to be more specific, D. Thomas. Or call in 888-775-3773 and correct me. So what I really wanted to get into is He Black says when Dwayne Wade was on the Bulls, he did the same thing and got fined the same way. It's crazy stuff, man. That's crazy stuff. It's not freedom. You can't even be normal. And there's some players, though, that do have more freedom than others. Like LeBron James, I'm sure he can do a lot more than most can and get away with it. Right? Because I think to NBA, LeBron James is like God. So he probably has more leeway to do what he wants. I think he's like one of the highest paid, too. These contracts be crazy. I'll be like, dang, there's that much money in the world? Do they even print that much money? But they be having it. So I can understand why they're like, all right, look, we ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do this no more. We won't do it. Sorry, massa, we won't do it. I understand. Anyway, moving on. Guys, I got a message that I want to tell you guys. Listen. Linian Chin coming with another super chat. If I were an athlete contracted to the devil like all those guys, I wouldn't say that they're contracted to the devil, though. I mean, that's up for debate, but I wouldn't make that judgment. To stay sane, I would journal all of the sense of distinction and keep it to myself. Yeah, there has to be a way that, they have to deal with not being able to be, whether it be the money, whether it be, there's always it's not always as nice as it looks, is all I'm saying. But I don't know if I would say that they're contracted to the devil. That's not for me to make that distinction, but I get your point, Linian Jin, and I agree with the overall point that you're trying to make. That there's got to be something that they got to do to, I don't know, do something. But thank you, Linian Chan. I'll get to your other super chat in a second here. Guys, we got to talk about Satan's, the Fed's printing. We got to talk about Satan's biggest trick. We got to talk about Satan's biggest trick because this is so the issue. Okay? This is so the issue with everything. Every problem, everything comes down to this. And I didn't even notice it. I'm just learning it for myself in real time, right? I'm learning this myself, and I don't have the full answer about it, but I got some interesting stuff that I've discovered that I want to share with you guys. Satan's biggest trick, his greatest trick that he uses and gets away with it, and I'm going to tell you how he gets away with it, is judgment. I'm telling you, Satan's greatest trick is judgment. And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to break it down more. And I love these topics because it just brings awareness and understanding to how you can recognize it within yourself. Because I'm recognizing it within me. I'm recognizing it within myself, which is allowing me to understand it more, to speak on it. So I'm going to tell you why judgment is Satan's biggest trick, right? And why judgment sticks. It's because judgment is it's his greatest disguise. It's disguised so well, right? It's disguised so well and you won't even know. You'll be judging and not even know you're judging because it's disguised so well. Let me tell you how it's disguised. Is that, for one, it's disguised in truth, right? You could see something or see someone, and what you think you see, you believe you see the truth about it. And you may have some factual evidence to back up that what you're seeing is correct, right? But judgment is disguised as the truth, right? It'll seem like you're telling the truth, but it's disguised in judgment. And also, the reason why judgment is so hidden from people is also because it doesn't bring conflict or pain to you. It brings pleasure. So it doesn't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like it's wrong. It doesn't feel like it's bad because it doesn't bring you negative feelings. It brings you the happy feelings, right? The good feelings, right? Because when you judge, you feel like you're righteous about it. You feel like you're proving a point. You're feeling like you're exposing someone who deserves to be exposed. There's a false sense of righteousness that comes with it that makes you believe that you're in the right. So that's why it's so easily disguised, right? Unlike other things that you may do, like, let me think of one. What's something that will make you feel guilty? Like, let's say that you, I'm trying to think of an appropriate one. Like, if you get real angry and like smack your grandma. You know what I mean? Grandma's yelling and you get real angry and you accidentally hit her, right? afterwards, that's the best example I can come up with. Afterwards, you hit her, you feel the guilt, right? Guilt comes in, and that's also a setup, guilt. But guilt comes in, and you're feeling bad about it, and that's what makes you kind of like think like, oh, shoot, maybe I shouldn't have hit grandma, right? But you like have this false version of feeling bad, right? This false version of a mistake. And whatever it be, let's use like you drink alcohol. That's probably the better example I should have used. Why did I say smack grandma? YouTube gonna kick me off. I meant like you go get drunk. That's a better one. And afterwards, you wake up in the morning, you feel all bad. You think about what you did last night, and you're like, you start regretting life. You're like, why would I said that. Your friends tell you the story about you, how you were acting up, right? You have this like bad feeling that comes with it to make you like, think like, oh shoot, what the, right? Not judgment. That's why judgment is so easily Satan gets away with it, because it seems and it postures as righteousness, but it's destructive. Ooh, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So like I said, it's dressed as truth and it brings pleasure. There's no guilt attached to it, right? You don't feel guilty about it unless it's like an obvious judgment, right? Like, I don't know. You're the friend of the person that smacked grandma, and then grandma did a little scream after her, and you thought it was funny, and you're like, you start laughing, and then you're like, oh, okay, I probably shouldn't have laughed at that. So there's that kind of, if it's like dramatic. C-Sal says smacking grandma is appropriate. That's hilarious. But for the most part, it doesn't bring any guilt. It's disguised very well. And every issue that every person has is due to judgment. It's due to judgment, right? The thoughts, right? Because we are always talking about the thoughts here at Bond, and the thoughts will jack you up. Very true. But the thoughts, when you define the thoughts, even if every thought is a judgment, right? It's an opinion about something. And thoughts are just identifying with right and wrong. That's how Satan brings it. That's why you feel bad about a thought or you feel good about a thought, because you're identifying in your mind with right and wrong about the thought. Another setup. You're saying, Satan in the mind says, this thought that I'm giving you is a bad thing, or this thought that I'm giving you is a good thing, and your feelings follow suit, right? It's just a thought. Every single thought is a judgment. That's why we feel anything, because we have an opinion on it and we identify with that as true, right? But we're identifying with right and wrong, and we don't know right and wrong. Because just think about it. If you knew right and wrong, then you would identify with it, and then you would choose a side. But you don't know what's right and wrong. Like, for example, murder. And this is a perfect example. If you say murder, some people say murder is bad. Some people say murder is good. But there's no clear distinction, because at some times murder could be unjustifiable, and at some times murder can be justifiable. So you can't paint right or wrong on the word murder, on murder itself. Someone breaks into your home and is trying to kill you, and let's just say in self-defense you kill them. Is it wrong? So there's no point in identifying with right and wrong. But then the question is, well, then how do you know? How do you live life? How do you go about life? How do you, if there's no right or wrong, how do you avoid getting yourself into trouble? How do you not get mixed up with the wrong things and the wrong people or all these things? Great question. But I want to give a couple more examples. Because identifying with right and wrong is why Christians hate gays, right? Reject gays. Why the whole world rejects the pedophiles, right? The whole world, 99% of the world has a very little grace for a pedophile. That's just factual. Pedophiles are like seen as the devil himself. I don't know. I guess because with the children thing. So people just automatically just see children as innocent, right? Which is true. And then somebody, whatever. But, the pedophiles get no love, zero love, hated, right? That's how the world sees it. But it's just because the world sees it, and that's exactly how Satan wants it, as wrong. He's wrong. But you don't know nothing about that person. We don't know nothing about that person that created, that did this act. We don't know what caused them to do it, for the most part, right? We know it's Satan, we know anger, we know that stuff. But we don't know the story. We don't know the reason. We don't know what's really going on within that person unless we get to know them or we're around or whatever. So when we say it's just wrong, we're just judging. We're identifying we're wrong when we don't even know. We don't know right and wrong. But how do we go about life then? How will we go about life to make sure that we're not caught up in these bad situations? Ooh, great question. Is that you just have to let the moment be your guide. That's it. The moment, which is the present, the spirit within will guide you and help you and lead you away from this or towards this or whatever the case is. It'll guide you and tell you where you need to go, right? Because every situation needs a different approach. That's why it's not good to learn things. Because now all the things that you learn, you're going to try to apply them in every circumstance, but not everything applies to every circumstance. That's why it's so important to be led by the moment. So the moment, and that's the laws of the heart, right? The laws of the heart will guide you. And it'll tell you what to avoid or what to do. And even so, even in the moment, unless the moment says, don't do that, it still doesn't necessarily mean that you want to judge that as wrong or right. You're just being led to stay away from that in the moment. That's not going to be beneficial to you. Stay away from that. But it doesn't mean now you got the answer of what to stay away from. No, you just see what the next moment tells you to do. The moment be your guide, but that's why all people have to start recognizing and understanding the spirit within and learning how to hear the voice of God within. You have to, because that's your only guide. That is your only guide. True guide, right? And if you don't know that and you don't recognize it right now, don't stress about it or have fear like, now I'm going to get lost or anything like that. No, because God is with you and he knows that, you're just trying your best. You want to be there. So he's still going to guide. He still guides us though we can't see, right? But I'm here to tell you that the most important thing that you could ever do is look within and understand the spirit within. Because that's the only thing that's really going to lead you in the right way. Follow that. And you'll never be upset. And you'll never be let down. You know what I mean? Get to know that by being still and observing life, being aware of yourself, watching yourself, being a student of life, just paying attention, learning things, doing things and learning from them. Right? Doing your best not to judge, not to have an opinion, but just to learn. And then things start making sense more and more and more, and God just keeps drawing you in until you get closer and closer to paradise on earth, perfect peace. Come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning this myself. And I still find myself judging, but I'm watching it. And I'm trying to understand it. So that way you can overcome. That's just what we're called to do. So let the moment be your guide. You got to learn to recognize the spirit within. That's the only way. The Bible is nice, but we should never have to. What's priority is within, because within is what confirms without. So the Bible's not bad to read, but if you recognize the spirit within, it'll tell you what you need and what you don't need. So you don't have to study and remember all that stuff. Books are good to read too. I love books. I don't read that much because I'm not the best reader, but if I'm not reading out loud, I can read pretty good, right? And I like books. I read a few books, and every single book that I read were like great. And it helped me, right? But I didn't study them or try to remember or anything like that. So I'm not saying books or the Bible or anything like that is bad. The pastor, the preacher, the church, I'm not saying none of that is bad. But what's important is that you're going to this directly to the source, not the middleman. Cut the middleman out, right? And go directly to the source. Let the moment guide you, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. That's the teacher. And you will find it if you start looking. You will find it. But you got to start looking, start trusting, start letting go, start experiencing life, start making mistakes, start doing things, start reflecting on it, start paying attention, start observing. So that's what I want to say about that. Satan's biggest, greatest trick is judgment. Just think about it. Think about it, and then let me know what you guys think about it. If we never have one judgment about anything, then we wouldn't have no pain, none of that stuff. We just watch it. And you could be judging, not even knowing you're judging. So it's interesting. Reese's vid said, Joel, the Bible lays out right and wrong using that standard isn't judging. Well, that's what I'm saying is that, like, but do you know what that means? What is the Bible saying? What is the Bible really saying about that? Do you know what that actually means? Because back in Jesus' day, when they had little scrolls or scripture before the Bible, and it said, do not heal on a Sabbath, right? That was a rule. Do not heal on the Sabbath. And Jesus came and healed on the Sabbath. And they were like, you viper, you demon. But was that wrong to do that? Jesus did it? No. In the moment he saw he needed to heal on the Sabbath, baby. And he got the healing. So anyway. But I get your point, Reese. Let me read these super chats. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. There are lines open. Get in there if you want to talk about whatever. It doesn't have to be about judgment. It can be about, I don't know, anything. Daniel Penny, Trump. It can be about whatever. We can get into it. Let me get to the super chats. Let me check right now. We're going to, because a few of them been coming in right now, and I want to make sure I don't miss them. Let's see. Boom. And they're trying to come after Jay-Z. Lord, they coming after Jay-Z. And Jay-Z not trying to play with them. You know, You guys ain't coming after me. I got too much going on right now. Let me see. All right. So we got, what's today? Today's the 9th. Lenny and Chin says, butterfly in the sky, I can prance twice as high. Take a look in it in a book. A reading rainbow. I can prance anywhere, friends to know, and ways to grow is Joel's reading rainbow. Prancing for Jesus. Right on, Lynn. That's right. Prancing for Jesus. That's me. Appreciate it, Lynn. Lynn goes on to say, oh no, I got other ones here really quick and then I'll get to Lynn's. Zamond Chef King says, I once made a threat to my mother. I had a good reason in the moment. It was also something I believed to be true. I wouldn't do it though, I think. I once made a threat to my mother. I had a good reason in the moment. It was also something I believed to be true. I wouldn't do it though. But why wouldn't you do it? Right? If you believed it to be true and it made sense to do it, why didn't you do it? Right? Was it something else? Because in your mind you had said that this is right. Right? And I have good reason to do this. Right? And if it was right, why didn't you do it? Maybe something else in you was like, hold up, this ain't right. And maybe that's why you didn't do it. I don't know. I wasn't there. So you got to tell me, Zamond. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't right. Maybe you thought, but you thought like lit. That's what JLP says all the time. I still don't know what lit is, but he says it. Marcus Leonard says, thank you, Zaman. I appreciate it, man. I don't know quite. Well, let me follow up and let me know what you think. Marcus Leon. Oh, no. I'm black. Marcus Leonard. My G. If the thoughts are Satan, how can one rightfully have a podcast such as yours, which is founded on thoughts, opinions, and beliefs? Right. So this is what I believe to be true, right? But I can always be wrong. That's why you got to know for yourself. And I'm just speaking on what I see to speak on in the moment, right? It makes sense to me in this moment. And, but these are not, doesn't mean that these principles that I'm speaking on, one should hold on to and remember and use it in every circumstance. No, in this moment, I'm just being led to, which I believe I'm being led to, speak on these things that make sense to me. And if it makes sense to you, cool. But even like JLP says, you let it go through one ear out the other. You just let it go. You don't hold on to it. Let it be true for you in the moment and you use it as it's necessary, right? Because what is true and what is real will be written on the heart. You don't have to remember it in the mind. Ha ha! You know what I'm saying? What is true is written on the heart. But great question there. Great question for sure. Lin Yan Chen goes on to say, practice parkour or prancing like Joel Friday. That's how you avoid being and supporting wrong. Jesus and Joel do good by prancing across the water. Practice parkour. Why do they need to practice parkour? That's how you avoid being and supporting wrong. Jesus and Joel do good by prancing across the water. Jesus prancing on water. And Jesus keeps trying to tell me, come on the water and have faith. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going to try. I'm like Peter. Get in there and then doubt. Get in there and doubt. So I'm working on it too. But listen, I'm still getting out the boat, baby. Come on. Come on. Lin Yan Chen says, Marcus goes on to say, Marcus, my sister, intellectual posing as a man. Joel is expressing his heart. The foundation is intent. Thought is just a medium of that intent. Interesting. Yeah, it's just of the heart, though, right? That's a good point, is that what I believe that I'm doing is expressing from just what I see I already said it, but that's the rules of the heart, not just of the intellect. You know what I mean? Because, anyway, I was about to ran on right now. But you're right, Lin Yan Chen, of the heart. That's right. But I understand Marcus's point, though, too. Let me see here. Ha, ha, ha. We got Ryan Moon. Shout out, Ryan. Ryan says, great show, buddy, with the fist. I appreciate that, Ryan. You the man. Right on. Hope all is well with you over there in Florida. Amazing stuff. Let's see. Right on. Let me see. I'm checking the other super chats here. That's why I'm just sitting here in silence. It's not good for radio, though. Oh, my Buy Me a Coffee's logged me out. What the? Now I got to log in really quick. Lions Den check-in. Shout out King Wesley. What's up, JC? Oh, I got people on the line here. You guys must have all just came, or something's wrong with my computer. But I did not see you guys on popping up like this. So let me get to the calls. Okay. Let me go to Obi, a first-time caller out of New York. Obi, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, how you guys doing?
How's it going, Obi? All is well.
It's my first time calling. I want to ask if I can be able to speak to Jaylen Peterson.
This is Joel Friday show. Jesse Lee Peterson is on 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. So you called a little bit late.
Oh, 6 to 9 in the morning?
6 to 9 in the morning Pacific time.
But in New York, what time should be in New York time?
New York? Pff, you're asking the wrong person. New York time is what? Somebody help me out there. I think it's like 2. Oh no, actually I do know 3 hours after. So 9 to 12.
Oh, 9 to 12.
Yeah.
Every day, Monday to Friday?
Every day, Monday through Friday.
Okay, I was calling to ask him about immigration, about Trump policy and immigration.
Oh, yeah, he about to lay the law down. He about to lay the hammer on immigration.
I know. That's why I was calling, you know?
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nice talking to you. I'll be calling tomorrow to speak to him.
Yeah, no problem, Obi. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Let me go to Connie, first time caller out of Minnesota. Connie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Joel. How you doing?
All is well, Connie. How are you?
Merry Christmas to you and everybody there.
Merry Christmas.
I have a question about judgment with you.
Okay.
I was just listening to what you said, and I can get to everything that you said about when it comes to judgment and being in the present. When I see something and I'm in the present, in the Bible, it says discern.
Yeah.
You can discern things.
Yeah.
What do you think about discernment?
I think that is discernment comes from God, which is the spirit within that guides us to know what direction to go. So it's just a guiding light, and we are to wait on that discernment as the moment comes instead of looking to the past and or the future in our minds.
Okay, so let me run something down to you.
Okay.
If I was to be in the present, I practice 24/7 as long as I'm awake.
Yeah.
If I discern something and I'm in front of something in the present that I'm discerning as satanic, evil, not good, or just of the devilish spirit.
Yeah.
And I feel it at the time. Now, what you're saying is I'm supposed to not feel that at the time, at the present, and I'm supposed to just giddy up and think about it?
That's a great point, Connie. No, you're seeing it, right? You're seeing something that maybe doesn't serve you or whatever, but you're not looking at it as, especially if it's coming from the light, you're not seeing it as bad. You're not seeing it as you're not judging it as wrong. You're just seeing something that, it may be negative, but you're not looking down upon it or whatever. If it's coming from the light and you're discerning it, you're also discerning, right, what's going on. You could see what's driving the person, or you can see that, evil is within, but you're not judging it as bad or wrong and overreacting to it.
Okay. Let me run something else down for you.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose you're in a situation in the present when you're experiencing child abuse. You had mentioned pedophilia.
Yeah.
When you get into a present situation, you catch something that's not cool, you think is not cool, or not right, not light.
Right.
It's dark.
Right.
What would you suggest when you discern that it's given you some serious, I got to get out of here, I got to get away from this? So you step, you dip, and then you think about that after a while, and you hear about other situations where there's similar situations that you're hearing about. Is it bad to discern about that situation that you perhaps in your present had experienced and judged and saw it?
Well, right there, if I'm understanding you correctly, Connie, is that you're already going back to the past and thinking about what you went through and now festering on what somebody else may went through. And
I didn't go through it. It's just
I know, not you.
Thought.
Yeah. I'm just saying it as an example. You're right. Is that whatever the case may be, is that you're festering on it. Someone may be festering on it, and that's not of God, right? Because you can reflect and be like, oh, this and this and that, but you don't need to look to the past or the present to know how to conduct yourself in the present or past or the future. But the point is, let me just make this point, is that you will know what you shouldn't stay away from. And if you are thinking in your mind about, oh, this happened to this person or this happened to me in the past, and may happen to somebody in the future, then you're already making up in your mind a judgment. You're already making up in your mind something to avoid, and it's going to cause you to overreact when in the moment, if you just see it as it comes, you won't have any feeling about it. If you're present, right, you're aware and you're not in your head, you won't have any feeling about it, or you won't even have any judgment for the person who's doing it. You will just see what you need to do in that moment.
And that's the dip.
That's the what?
It's the dip. Goodbye.
The dip.
Skedaddle.
The dip. It may be say, hey, you got to get up out of here. Then you get up out, right? But you don't plan to get up out. You don't plan to get up out.
Okay, let me ask you a question, if I may, please.
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
See, that's already a predetermined response that I would have to have.
Let's just pretend.
Okay. For the sake of, well, that's what I was gonna say. For the sake of conversation, give me an example.
Suppose you were in the present, like you live.
Okay.
And you saw it.
Saw what?
An act being done on a child.
Okay.
Maybe 5 months, 6 months. Just a minor.
Okay.
A child.
Little baby.
So, how would you walk away? How would you deal with that?
I would
without judging.
Right. I would hope that I wouldn't overreact to what I see. Right. I would hope that in the moment I wouldn't overreact, and I would be able to just watch and not watch, but be able not watch,
no,
but be able to watch myself and watch the actions and make sure that I'm not overreacting, for one, and then I'll see what to do. You'll know what to do in that moment. I can't tell you that I'm going to go in there and try to save the baby, or I'm going to go in there and try to beat up the man, because I don't know the circumstances or anything, and I don't know what I would do. And the problem that most people do is they have a plan of what they're going to do, and when they go in with that plan, it's all jacked up. And it ain't proper, it ain't right, it ain't nothing, because they had an idea of how they should react, when the moment will tell you exactly what to do. Because you may not be able to do anything. It may be best to just walk away. And you never know what the thing, because he may try to kill you. You just don't know what you need to do until the moment comes. Exactly.
Yeah, I get you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I can get to that. And I thank you for your question, or for your answer.
Right on.
Honest, present, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for taking my call.
I appreciate it, Connie, and great questions. Call me again.
Love your program. Thanks,
all right.
Joel.
No problem.
Bye.
Right on. Shout out, Connie. But I know what she's saying, though, too, because the world, most people love a what if. A what if is like food, because it helps people prepare for life and feel like it's going to make it easier for them. But that only makes your life harder. It's a setup. Doesn't mean I done it. The what ifs be coming, but I recognize that the what if is a setup, because you can't plan for things, right? Because that's not trust. That's not trusting that God's with you if you're planning of how you're going to react. All you're doing is protecting yourself. You're just protecting yourself from getting hurt or all that stuff, but you're not trusting God just to lead you. So most people want to do a what if situation for sure, but that's a setup. That's a setup. Chef King Zamond says, all you gotta say is what if equals Marvel end credits. Marvel end credits. I don't get it, Chef King. Appreciate the super chat though. I'm not sure what you're saying. All right, I got to get back to the calls. Oh, my time is. I'm like way out of time. And callers, you call me in the last minute. I tell you guys to call me sooner. I'm only here for an hour. And I tell you guys all the time, call in ASAP. Even if you just got to call, no. Make sure if you call in, you know what you want to talk about. But you like all came in at the last minute there. Now I'm out of time, but I have a 1 minute. I'm gonna go to Sean, a first-time caller out of Tennessee. Sean, welcome to the show. You're on the air for like a couple minutes left here.
All right, Joel. How you doing, man?
All is well, Sean. How are you?
All right, good. I'm doing well, man. I can't complain at all.
Right on.
Well, I'm going to run something by you and
Yeah.
see what you think about it. I really witnessed, which I've always known, I'm going to be honest, how evil my mom was, and that's why I had to forgive her for some things that happened in the past. But over this past weekend, my mom was talking to my wife about some stuff, and my mom kind of started sharing some stuff that was a little bit too personal.
Okay.
And yeah, things that's happened over time. And now my wife, she come back and she told me, and I was just basically, I'm gonna tell you exactly what she was doing. So my wife doesn't work or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. I just take care of her. You know, we have kids and stuff. And my mom, for whatever reason, started telling her, like, you need to go out and get a job. You need to go do this. You don't need to listen to your husband about that because he might leave you one day. Yeah, I'm serious. He might leave you one day. And this is my own mom saying this, Joel.
Wow.
My own mom. And when my wife come back and told me, I just looked at her and said, I didn't say much about it. All I said was, it's crazy that your own mom can be against you. But I didn't share this with my wife, but my dad did leave my mom when I was a baby for another woman. So my mom, I'm 32 years old. My mom hasn't gotten over that yet.
Well, I'm so out of time, but let me just answer that really quick. And then we could pick back up on this tomorrow, or we can get into it more. But let me just say really quick, briefly, is that why do you stay around your mom knowing she's that way and is going to go around your back to talk to your wife and spew lies in her ear? Why are you around your mom if that's the case?
Well, Joel, that's what I realized this weekend. It really hit home that I need to just stay away from her. I need to keep my wife. I can't make my wife stay away from her, but I need to keep her away from her as much as possible.
And did you
like that?
Did you correct your mom and tell her? Did you tell her that she shouldn't do that to stay out your business, and that's your wife and it ain't her business?
Well, that was the problem I was having. I was thinking, like, should I say something or not?
Okay.
Do I just let it be? Do I just let it be? You know, because I didn't overreact to it. You know, do I just let what she said be, or whatever? That was the problem I was having.
Okay, I want you to call me tomorrow on this so we get more into it, but I'll just say this, is that I've been in this situation, and I was dating a girl, and then my mom got involved, and I told my mom, and she stopped. I told my mom not to do that, to get out the business, and she understood, and she didn't do it again. So I suggest that you say something to your mom, tell her that, right? And if she doesn't agree or she does it again, then I don't understand why you even bring her around in the first place. That's one thing. But then you know to block her and stay away from her because she's not doing anything good for you in your relationship. So there's no point to be around her. But I would need more information, man. Call me tomorrow on this.
I'll call tomorrow.
Yeah, and then we can get more into it and break it down.
All right. I'll call tomorrow, bro.
Right on, man. I appreciate the call. All right.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, I got to end. I'm so out of time. Man, this is good points that I wanted to get into with Sean about that, because I know exactly what he's talking about. I went through a similar thing, and I get it. But we got to really get into that. Appreciate the super chats and the viewers and the calls and all that stuff. Y'all are amazing. I'm back here tomorrow for some more mess that we're going to get into, so make sure you guys tune in. Punchy TV today at 2 p.m. Pacific time in a couple hours. Make sure you guys check that out with myself and a few of my other co-hosts, and we get into some stuff, you guys. So make sure you guys check that out at 2 p.m. today. Brand new episode of Punchy TV. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Joel Friday TV across the board. I'll see you guys next time. I got to go. I'll see you on the flip. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.